YouTube. This your girl Samantha Sweets, and I'm coming at you guys on a different kind of energy right now. We're not going to talk about my giveaway. We're not going to talk about really anything with the channel. This is honestly a story that needs to be brought to light. It needs to be talked about a lot more. It happened a week ago tomorrow. An innocent 5-year-old boy was shot dead in his front yard. I want to talk about it. And I want to put a disclaimer up top that this is not about racial profiling. It's not. But I need to ask a question. I need it to come to light because a lot of people are asking the same question. And again, you guys know my son is half black. I only date black men, mainly. I just want this to come to light. I am the voice. I do these videos for the voice of the victims that aren't here anymore to speak it. So I'm doing this video for Cannon Hinnant. I honestly don't know exactly how to say his last name. Cannon Hinnant, I believe is how you say his last name. And we're going to talk about his story. And I don't want to get emotional, but I don't understand how you can possibly not get emotional when it comes to a child. When it comes to an innocent child, and then questions are left. Why? So, we're going to get into this. Last Sunday, around 5 in the evening, a 5-year-old boy and his 2 sisters were riding their bicycles in the front of their yard. I'm gonna get into the story of the father because the father, I've listened to multiple interviews and it breaks my heart to see any parent have to go through this, but to see this father in such anguish, such despair, such heartbreak, such confusion, it really does ask why. Again, no parent should ever have to bury their own child. So Cannon was outside riding his bicycle, and a 25-year-old man, Darius Sessoms, something like that, I don't even want to say his name, walked up to Cannon and shot him point blank. When you first hear about this, when I first heard about this, I was like, I thought that he was, because I was hearing it, but I didn't know the whole story till yesterday. I thought this little 5-year-old was hit by a stray bullet. That is what I originally thought. Okay, a kid playing outside, you hear about this all the time, drive-by shooting or an argument breaks out and an adult goes to shoot an adult and a child is struck in the gunfire. This child was the target to a 25-year-old man. What could a 5-year-old child do to a 25-year-old man to set him off to where when you look at this man, when you look at this demon, okay, it's not even a man. When you look at this inhumane creature, you see evil. His eyes, there's nothing in his, he's heartless. There's nothing there. We're left with the why. You know what I mean? And like I said, I listened to multiple interviews. So yesterday is when I got the full story of Cannon's last moments on earth. And I want to share them with you guys. Cannon, had woken up that morning. He went to church. His family was very church related, very religious, just very loving family. He has 2 sisters. He had his soon-to-be stepmom. He had his mother and his stepdad, and then of course he had his father. He was with his father that weekend, and they went to church. Then they went out to their favorite Mexican restaurant out to eat, and then they went home. The stepmom, or the soon-to-be stepmom, the dad's fiance was gonna take a nap. The dad had fallen asleep on the couch as well, and the kids were playing in the living room. Around 5 o'clock, the kids woke up the parents and said, "We want to ride our bikes. We want to go ride our bikes." And of course the dad let him. They said this was a regular day. It was a regular time to do it. They do it all the time. So they all went out there. The dad was on the couch playing Xbox. The fiance was in the kitchen cooking dinner, and a gunshot out. The gunshot rang out literally 20 minutes after they were outside. The father immediately dropped the controller and ran outside. He thought that Cannon had just fallen off of his bicycle, is what he originally thought, because he saw Cannon lying on the ground. The pictures of the children's bikes laying in the grass is the aftermath of the sisters running to get away from the gunfire, running because they just saw their brother, their baby brother, shot in front of them, almost, holding on to life. He was still alive, and the father looks up and sees his 25-year-old neighbor across the street holding a gun, pacing back and forth. His father said he wanted to rush over and destroy him, beat him mercifully, but he could not leave his son's side. He then put his hand on top of his son's forehead and prayed to God for God to put his hands on his child. And he said he did, but it went in God's favor and not the way the father wanted. He said, you have no idea what it's like to hold your son, to see the extremities of his injuries, and to feel the blood of your child drip down your arms. I can't even imagine. The fiance called 911 and the police, and the 25-year-old creature took off. Got in his car and took off. They found him the next day hiding in a friend's home or a family's home. Thank God they caught him. Cannon passed away. He was airlifted to the hospital, and he passed away at the hospital. They had his memorial yesterday. He was laid to rest. I believe the wake was yesterday and the funeral was today, or vice versa. But that little innocent baby boy who was supposed to start kindergarten next week is now up there with the heavens, in the angels, looking down upon his family. And we have to ask why. Especially because not only did the father know the 25-year-old man, knew this son of a beep, but he had dinner with him on that Saturday. The Saturday before he killed his son. I was flabbergasted when I heard that. Hold on. So this man, who's been your neighbor of 8 years, who lives with his family lives with his parents across the way, you invited him to have dinner with your family that Saturday, and on Sunday, he took your child's life. He said he's so confused. He said that this was the first interview, that he shared a beer with him, and that he was cooking on the grill, and then he had extra chicken, and he invited him in, and that his fiance and the 3 kids sat at the kitchen table and ate, and him and this smug bastard sat on the sofa watching the game, I think it was, eating dinner. I'm so confused. So yesterday they had an interview. I believe it was CNN had an interview with the father, and the father said, because they said, did you notice anything strange about him on the night that y'all drank a beer and ate dinner together? He said no. He said, though, on that Friday before then, that Friday right before that day, he was very paranoid. He kept saying that somebody was gonna get him. Somebody was gonna get him. Somebody was out to get him. And he was very angry. What does that have to do with... Sorry about the interruption, guys. So as I was saying, they had the last interview with his father, and the father said that he explained he was very paranoid, and then he said, did you guys have bad blood? He said no, he didn't have no bad blood with him. And they said, do you know any reason why he would want your son dead? And he said, I know the reason, but I'm waiting for him to say it, or I want to see if he's gonna say it. And I'm like confused, because I'm like, you know why he would target your 5-year-old son? I am very confused on that. Like, I'm very confused. So of course, as I'm explaining this to my best friend today, we're trying to figure out, what does he mean? Why he just didn't come out and tell, but I guess it's under investigation. But you're not saying anything unless you're just keeping it to yourself until the court date. I mean, I understand, everyone warns differently, but he just came right out and said it. I don't know if you guys seen that interview, but you can look it up. And he just said, I know the reason, but I want to see him to see if he'll say it. And I'm like, so my best friend says maybe he owes him money. Maybe this is a drug deal gone bad. Maybe he owed him money. Like, I don't have no idea. I honestly don't know. But I just wanted to put this out there because we all know that the whole Black Lives Matter thing is, it will forever go on. If, and this is a lot of people saying it, if it was a black little boy who was shot by a white man, would this be more public? Would the media be tearing this up right now? But because it's the other way around, and it's a little white boy who was killed by a black man, it's really not out there. I try to type it in YouTube and it doesn't even pull up. It's all over Google. It's all over Yahoo. But why is this not more public? Is my ultimate question. So, again, this is not racial profiling. I'm not throwing the race card out there at all whatsoever. Just everyone's questioning. Everyone's asking, why is this not so big? Why is this not as big of a story as it needs to be right now? This little innocent little boy, his life was taking way before his time. And for what reason? You guys know I do these videos. I do these videos, again, because I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. So in your comments below, let me know. Have you heard of the story? Do you know what I'm talking about? And what do you feel on the outcome of it right now? The man, he is locked up with no bail. But what is the outcome of this going to be? And why did this evil creature take this innocent little angel? Sleep sweet, Cannon. May you fly in the heavens above, and you be that angel you were on earth, up in the skies above. Thanks, sweetie squad.